Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Institute Pulse Carbine mod, which is being made by user Degenerate Dak. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a wonderful new energy weapon for the Institute to use in the form of the Pulse Carbine, and this thing is pretty darn wonderful, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, especially because it's quite nice seeing the Institute have some better gear for the mid to late game, because let's be honest, the standard Institute laser rifle is kind of an awful flashlight. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the Pulse Carbine rifle, which in its most standard configuration will do 19 physical damage as well as 18 energy damage, using the standard fusion cell with a firing rate of 33, range of 119, accuracy of 147, and a weight of 4.8. Not too shabby there in the slightest, and as you can see, this thing is gorgeous looking, very nice on the modeling and texturing. Kind of reminds me, style-wise, of a mix between like a Star Trek phaser rifle and the, oh god, I don't remember the name because I haven't played Halo in like a decade, but the Halo Covenant sniper rifle. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, and I kind of like that, and frankly, in my mind, it seems appropriate for the Institute, who are supposed to be the, you know, masters of tech in the Commonwealth. And great for them to have a weapon that, with modifications, can become quite a bit more powerful than their standard laser rifle. In fact, this thing is going to be roughly on par with the vanilla plasma weapon that we usually get in the game. So kind of a nice alternative there. And speaking on the modifications, we don't have a huge list of things, but there are a lot of good options in here to change up how the weapon works, whether you want kind of a shotgun, automatic weapon, or sniper rifle out of this thing, and of course ways to up the damage, etc., and a pretty decent selection of sights, which you guys know me, I always love. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these lovely things, it's going to be actually rather quite simple. Starting at level 20, you'll start seeing these on high-ranking synths, as well as in the Institute store, and that is that. So if you aren't a part of the Institute, well, you're going to have to wait to kill some coursers or something. But overall, starting at level 20 shouldn't be too hard. Now let's go take a look at the modifications we do have for this thing, starting of course with the capacitor, where we've got a pretty good selection of stuff here, from a basic capacitor, beta wave tuner, boosted capacitor, photonic exciter, and photon agitator, as well as a gamma wave emitter, and on up with some just other better versions of the things we had before. Very, very cool, and in total, we'll be able to raise the damage pretty decently, especially when you take into account you got the two types of damage there. Now again, though, this thing is still not going to be hugely damaging, but it'll certainly be quite useful. And it is quite nice in the barrel category, where we can then sort of switch up the usage for this thing, where we have things like, well, the standard barrel, a splitter if you are wanting this thing to be more like a shotgun, a sniper barrel for, well, sniping, and then an automatic barrel for, well, fully automatic fire. And then we have advanced versions of each, which is pretty cool. So the standard barrel's going to be more like a kind of just carbine compared to the sniper for long range damage and, you know, well, I kind of messed that up. Long range fire and higher damage. There we go. The advanced splitter's pretty cool because not only is it firing multiple projectiles, but it actually tracks to targets. So they're kind of like smart plasma or whatever, which is kind of cool. And then, well, the automatic barrel's just, again, an automatic barrel. Good times, though. And then the stock category, we have a standard, comfort, improvised cheek pad, which it just kind of screams Fallout to me, and then a marksman stock, which is basically a nicer cheek pad. Though I kind of like, honestly, my two favorites here, just aesthetically, are the improvised cheek pad and the comfort stock, because they both do very much have that improvised sort of feel for Fallout, which I think is very appropriate and quite cool. Perhaps not the most Institute of things, but still, I find it enjoyable. And finally, in the sights, we have the standard, which I actually kind of prefer over the reflex sight, because it already kind of is of reflex sight. And then, of course, we have a short, medium, and a long scope, and then night vision and recon versions of those. So lots of good options there. Overall, a pretty fun set of mods. I do wish there was maybe a few more options in there for things, especially to up the power a bit more, but still, overall, it is pretty cool. So let's take a look at how this thing does fire, starting with, of course, our standard version, and take some shots. And there we go. Not the quickest firing rate in the world, but even with hip fire, you know, not that bad on the accuracy. The kick on this is not too bad at all, quite easy to control, and overall is just kind of a cool particle effect for the weapon that I quite like. And they're just a pretty standard plasma sort of sound to it, but I don't know, that sort of white ball of plasma rather than the usual green, it kind of just screams to me Institute and is just fun. Now, let's actually, because I never did make an automatic one to show off, let's switch this to automatic, because my other two are the sniper and splitter, just so that we do also have one of these on there. Nope, wrong thing. Barrel, there we go, the advanced automatic, wonderful. And let's take a look at how that thing fires, and it is quite cool. I do like the look, particularly of this one. It blends in quite nicely with the weapon. The splitter and the sniper one, both also do look cool, but I don't know. I kind of like this one the most looks-wise. And take some shots. Well, there we go. Just a good, quick firing rate there, chewing through all 27 of your rounds. A bit more kick on it, but you know what? Not too bad in the slightest. Now, let us take a look at the, which one's this one? Ah, the splitter version, which is fun. It's just basically a plasma shotgun, and that, well, that's just cool. And again, here's kind of that hollow sight, or the reflex sight here. This is why I kind of like the standard better, because the dot on it is so tiny. That little tiny green dot in the center there, compared to a nice giant blue one. This is just easier to see. But still, you know, hey, whatever you like. And then, of course, our sniper version. Neat. Basically sounds and shoots like the normal version, but of course is going to have longer range, more accuracy, and more damage. So let's get ourselves out a Deathclaw and see how this does go. I'm thinking going to be not too shabby here, but there we go. Let's spawn that in and run away to cheese it. Beautiful. You know what, actually, let's go out with this one. And there we go. It is now tracked with our rounds, and despite being a split weapon, now see, there you go. You can see here, when it's not locked in, because it only locks in for so long, it goes back to shotgun mode. But you aim in, it gets locked, and all of those rounds are now going down at this thing. They will have a bit of a spread when you go down further, but you know what? It's quite nice that it does have that sort of timer on it. I think that's pretty cool. Not the hugest amount of damage ever, as you can see. We're just kind of vaguely chewing away at this guy, but you know, not too bad either. Hello, there you are. I think mainly because it's the tracking on it. It's kind of tracking just towards center mass and not necessarily hitting exactly where you're going to be aiming. But still, not too bad. Now let's actually kill another one with the sniper one here, since this should get better damage. Of course, assuming I aim correctly, and when do I ever do that? Okay, so, and boom, boom. Yeah, not too bad on the single shot there. Well, there we go. Come back, buddy. Come back. I need you to, get sniped. There we go. I at least have vision on you now. And fire. Oh boy, it's going to take a lot of shots there. Okay, okay, okay. And reload. The problem with not a lot of ammo. Okay, there we are. Now, as you can see on this one, too, because it is the advanced one, it is also doing the tracking. And if you're not a very good shot as a sniper like me, that's pretty darn sweet. And yeah, that is the Pulse Carbine, the Institute Pulse Carbine. It is a pretty fun weapon, and I've definitely been enjoying my time with this thing. And again, it's just nice to give the Institute a slightly better gun for the mid to late game, considering their existing gun ain't that great. So if you'd like to take a look at this mod for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed and you do come back for the next, but until that time, thank you for watching. And as always, have a good one.